Is this your it's 2 o'clock and I don't know how to use it. I don't know. Yeah, the directions are in Chinese, so.
I think that started the last time.
There we go. Just hit reset.
That'll work.
And I imagine you probably just
I
hit
said
start.
start, right?
Yes.
I just on the closest button.
Sitting there.
Hey, Lori. How are you?
Fine, how are you doing?
Good.
I just got back. Just back into town.
She's been in Arkansas for 10 days.
Vacation?
11 days.
No, volunteering.
Good for you. Nice. Did they have a tornado or something?
Yeah,
Yeah,
March 31st, and it wiped out the town of Wynn.
Mm.
No. That was nice you were able to go.
Yeah, my first dad's out here. You know, I helped in Topeka and Lawrence. And not out here.
They're saying the tornado belt is kind of moving
Yeah, it is. That's
East-
what I told people.
eastern.
Arkansas used never had tornadoes. Didn't even know what a tornado was. Now they're getting worse than we are.
I'm just waiting on Nicole a minute here.
I just looked over to see the other, and I thought, oh, yeah, he needs one too.
Oh, good. I was wondering if that was gonna.
From different places, this is West Kansas, and rural, I don't know. But I do like them.
It's good. It's good. I got a lot to it.
We went down and ate the hot dog ice cream place
Sorry about that.
Pretty good.
Just glad that
I wouldn't say everything.
Okay, I'll call the McCracken City Commission regular business meeting to order for May 22nd, 2023 at 6:35 p.m. First we'll call to order Austin McCracken, Mayor, sorry,
Joe Titman, Commissioner.
Norma McNair, Commissioner.
Nicole Fehrenbach, City Clerk.
okay. And Amanda Kendall's the treasurer, she's not absent, or she's absent, yeah, from my understanding, okay. Next we'll have public comment. Okay, starting with Anita. Start on it?
Thank you so much for those dumpsters. That was great. And thank you for having that kind of that holding area on that empty lot. Because for short people, there's no way we can get some of that stuff up there. So thank you so much. I was teasing Diana and Jeannie, I think one day, like, okay, next year, you need to work on the boats. You need to gather up boats. So thank you so much. And even some ladies that live out of town have said how nice. What a difference just that 2 weekends had made. And I've heard that the cemetery looks amazing. A big shout out to Joy Pets, Kathy and Ron. Well, not, sorry, not Ron. I guess you weren't that. You were working that day. Kathy and Alex and Linda Dale. They, oh my gosh. You know by the golf course, there's that, like, where the street dead ends and that little creek is, and that barrier? Wow, they cleaned the crap out of that. You didn't realize how bad it was until you see it cleaned up. It looks amazing. So thank you, Kathy.
You're welcome.
And that's by Linda's then, right there?
Well, it's between Linda's and the golf course.
Where the,
By
where the little creek
dip
is?
is?
Yes.
Okay.
Just north of there.
Joy's?
Yeah.
Where that
I
barricade
saw trucks
is.
down there, so that's why I was wondering.
Where that barricade is, where the dead, where
Yeah. Thank you. Next we'll have Ron Casey. Oh, what changes them again? Stop.
The bottom, stop, the bottom of the blue. Let me see it.
Oh, good.
Hit reset.
Is that it?
Hit reset.
That's what I did.
There we go.
First, I want to thank Jackie Kennedy for donating plants and helping get plants established in the whiskey barrels around the park. They are starting to root and they look pretty nice. Jackie and I will try to maintain that as far as watering. My family and I and Alex had a visitor last week from the Rush County Sheriff, a deputy. Now, why anybody would want to pick on Alex, I have no idea. There's two people that are definitely picking on him. And if we're going to press charges, whatever, then every one of us on Pride for McCracken beautification needs to be processed too. There's no sense in this. He was doing what he was asked to do. I mean, I was helping that day too. So I don't know why you and Norma feel like you have.
I'm gonna stop you right there. First, I'd like to know what you're talking about.
Well, I'm sure you know.
No, actually,
We
I
had
don't.
a sheriff's deputy come to our house and wanted to talk to Alex.
Okay,
Because there was a complaint that he was on somebody's land.
okay,
He had permission to do so.
okay,
That was Rose Cofer.
okay.
Norma's grandson said that he saw Alex on her land.
Okay.
Okay. Now, I'm not sure how things went, if it was Mason, Rose Cofer, Jamie, Norma, and then you. I don't know. But this is going to stop, and it's going to stop tonight.
Ron, I'm going to ask that you please do not do that again. I'm also going to interject.
You don't tell me what to do.
I'm also going to let you know that
You're using
I
up my
myself-
time.
I myself am not pressing charges on anyone, nor did I call the sheriff. So you would need to take that up with whoever you
I don't
have
know
an issue with. Then you need
Whoever
to-
it was.
Then you need to go back.
It was
to-
one of you two.
Then you need to go and get with the police report.
Oh,
It's
yes,
neither
you-
of us. You need to talk with the sheriff's office or whoever you're involved with. That has nothing to do with us.
Alex is the nicest young man you'd
I
ever
agree.
meet.
I agree.
I agree.
He's done probably something for everybody in this room.
I have no qualms with Alex.
And it will stop. Alex will not help anybody.
I
So,
would understand that.
don't even ask
That's what I'm
him.
saying.
Don't ask
You need to
him.
talk with the Rush County Sheriff's Office, and if it was Rose Cofer, you need to speak with Rose Cofer.
Well, anyway,
Rose is the one that gave us your name and Norma's name.
And I'll speak
That
with
she
Rose
had talked
Cofer.
to.
She told us to, what we were supposed to do. She asked us where lawnmowers were. I will state that. And I told her, I do not know, because I did not know. I was not even here that day. She said I have these lawnmowers missing, and as the mayor, I was told that I had to report her to tell her that she needed to call the sheriff if possible. That's the
that
only
is
thing.
not the work of a mayor or a councilwoman. Your job is do this here.
That is my job.
No, it is not.
My
You
job-
show me in the rule books.
Does it not state in there we are to uphold laws? Does it not state in there that if there's problems, like someone was to ask you, you refer them to the sheriff?
Yeah,
If
that's
it's
what he
out of your jurisdiction, you refer them to the sheriff.
He told
It is
when
up
they
to the
came to
landowner
him,
whether
he said
they were
he
going
told
to call
them
the
to
sheriff
call
or
the
not.
sheriff, so that
Not
had
me.
nothing to do with the commission.
Has nothing to do with us.
Okay, other people were on the land, but Alex was singled out. Other people was on the land.
You
And
people
Mason
have-
said,
I didn't see
saw
one.
Alex
You people have
Casey.
been writing us since we moved back here to town.
I personally have not.
Ron, sit down.
When we came to this town, Alex went and applied for the mowing job. Then someone says that he was given that job, and he was told, or a rumor was that he's taking money from a needy family. Right, Norma?
Was I sitting up here during that time?
No.
Okay.
Was I?
No.
Okay, well
But it
then
came out of your mouth.
that has nothing to do with the commission currently.
Yes, it does. Because there's a history. When my wife was on the commission, you and Norma made her life miserable just because you weren't up there sitting. The emails that have gone back and forth, texts, whatever, I have some of them, Norma, and they're not pretty. So maybe someone needs to call your boss and find out that you're not the pious Christian lady that you portray yourself to be. And you've bashed me as well. I was helping my wife with a lot of things on the commission. Well, why is he giving a report? Is he a commissioner? No. Most spouses help each other.
There's still laws to uphold on.
Well, this is a history, and it all's coming back to you two. And I'm a pretty nice guy, but when the pig gets poked too many times, the pig is going to turn around and bite your ass. This will stop tonight. Any further, I will press charges for harassment. Do you understand? Answer.
I understand, Ron, but you have
Norma,
no
do you understand?
press charges on me for harassment.
I understand totally your
I think you're upset.
Yes, I am
You need to
upset.
take that up with the law enforcement.
We have done just about everything we can to help this community. You
Don't
two
disagree.
have thrown every kind of wrench into the system.
So do you have a problem with the commission itself, or do you have a problem with Norma and I? Because if you have a
Commission
problem with
itself,
us,
Joe's
because if you have a
great.
problem with Norma and I personally, then we can take care of that as citizens. I'd be happy to meet with you at any time.
You wouldn't meet with me, Austin. You two method chicken shit.
You can take your seat.
No,
Thanks.
I'm not doing it.
Ron, sit down.
Next, we'll have Diana Siler.
So, warning.
That's uncalled for.
Oh, you ain't seen nothing yet.
Down.
Start?
No, down. Like it's over the top.
I just pushed
No, down. Up here.
Oh, down the border. Sorry, man, I don't have it on this thing.
There, then push start.
Okay. Got her, Diana.
Get up there.
Wait a minute. I want your attention. No good deed goes unpunished, but overall, I think it was a positive thing that happened to the community, and we just all need to keep pushing forward. And this nitpicking, let's just stop. Let's just pull together. Let's quit pissing on everybody's Cheerios and move forward. I think we can do that. Yeah, I was on the property too, so whatever. Move forward. It was a positive thing,
Very positive.
positive thing. Even the mowers that were gathered were stolen off of Jeannie's property. That's how crazy this is. But regardless, just as an FYI with the continuation of cleaning, I don't know if you guys noticed in the paper, but May 24th through the 27th at the Rush County Weed Obnoxious, they're going to be taking all kinds of household hazardous materials, household products, anything that can be done. It has to be labeled before you can turn it in. But anybody that's got any paints and whatever, it's in the original container and you guys want to get rid of it, there's a drop off from 8 to 3 p.m. on the 24th, 25th, 26th, and on the 27th, it's from 8 to noon. So I don't know if you want to put that out there as an FYI, just as a reminder, unless we want to get a group together and have people meet, but it has to be labeled in the exact containers to get rid of this stuff.
Is the pickup at McCracken, or is it here in town?
No, what is it? It's, bring any materials prior to, that's the 17th.
I think it was in La Crosse, wasn't
It was in the paper.
It's probably out of the noxious weed office.
Yes,
By the
yes.
county.
Just down by the county. That's
Yeah,
where
I
you
guess
go.
that's where it's at. But I just saw it in the paper and I just wanted to bring it to everybody's attention. Seems we're on a roll. Things are looking better. Now, with all of the stuff that's down there,
It's gonna get picked up.
Oh, I got that down. Yeah.
can we just torch those mattresses? I mean, we had rain.
Like, where'd they all come from?
I have no idea, but they didn't come from
They'll be
me.
taking a single load of mattresses.
You are.
No, they're gonna come pick it
They're
up.
good.
Oh, it's like you are. And then those extra mowers that showed up, is that going into the metal containers?
Yes.
Okay. Because if not, I was gonna make a call to see if they would come back and get them. So,
Yeah, they told me, I sent him a picture yesterday of
Who?
everything that was out there. Mike Staub, the guy that brought the containers. And he said because Lance has been smashing them down with Mitchell Jacobs' Bobcat.
oh, cool.
So he was going to go ahead and smash all those down and then put them into the metal container. And he said that everything up there could go, so.
Good, okay. Well, I'm just saying if
And then that
there's,
money will just come
I don't know
back
where
and
those
sold.
other mowers came from, but
I
I
don't
saw
either.
them when we got back from Nashville, and if we needed to make a call, we could call and see if they can get them, and I'm also, will ask on the boats, Anita.
Thank you. I mean, there's like 2 or 3 boats just,
If they're not gonna do it, I can
it's
ask.
fun for a toy, like.
But I mean,
$9.
it is going forward, let's continue to go forward, let's just quit this BS, please. Over it. Gotta live here, let's tap dance together. That's all I gotta say.
Diana, before you sit down, I do know, because I've done it, they will take old nail polish at the obnoxious.
Yeah, it says, yeah, the obnoxious weeds.
Well, some of this.
It has on here, metal polish, nail polish, oven cleaners, pool chemicals.
You do.
and
I don't know if you want to
And
keep that.
outdated
Yeah, I can take a
makeup.
picture. I mean, you can shrink it down. It was in the paper.
Trash.
I did it.
You can take a picture of the shrink.
Yeah, I'll scan it off and
Uh,
I mean, just as an FYI for
I
everybody.
just want to tell people that it's such a small world because Ann and I was in Nashville and I got this call from my friend from Hayes. And he said, Jeannie, I'm down at your dog pens on your property. And I said, oh, you are? And he said, yeah, I'm picking up the mowers. And he was part of the group
Oh, wow.
that picks up the mowers. So.
For the veterans?
Yes, he came, him and his brother have a big car type thing, and the first ones that brought the big trailers from Wichita, and then what was left, they came back from Hayes to pick up, and then they'll end up down in Wichita. But I thought that was such a coincidence.
It's a small world.
It is.
Okay.
I wouldn't want to paint it.
No.
That's good.
That's a good one.
That's a good joke. Next we have Arlene Gilbert. Push down button.
Reset and then push down, then start.
Whatever, it's there.
Good evening.
Good evening, Arlene.
I would just kind of like to update you about the trophies. And it's not that I haven't been trying. I think it was last summer when Norman Faunensteel and his son had thought they could come and do the trophy cases. Well, Norman has been in and out of doctor's appointment. Anyway, he's not physically able to do it. So Shirley Higgins and I talked about what's our next step, and Shirley asked Roy Langdon, because he's kind of a self-do-it too. And his hands are where he can't do anything right now. And I had talked to, I just think.
Dallas.
Pardon?
Dallas.
Dallas,
Yeah.
DeWitt. And he said he would help Roy. Well, so we're back to square one, and I'm going to talk to Dallas, and I haven't had an opportunity these last, I think it's 2 weeks ago I talked to Dallas. And I misplaced his phone number, by the way.
I'll get it for you.
But anyway, if Dallas can find another partner, because it's going to take 2, and Rebecca and Joe, if your offer's still there for the trophy cases from the old grade school.
I just actually talked to the alumni, and they're going to do that before the rodeo. They're hoping to do it before the paper moon. They've got cases to put up in here for the trophies. Well, I just talked to them 5 minutes before this meeting started.
Oh,
You know,
that's,
in reference to that, they're really not in good shape.
Well,
You
I
guys are
wonder,
more than welcome to them, but
yeah, that they said that they were gonna purchase them and they're gonna put them up and we were just in here right before the meeting started.
Wow,
I
that's
wish
awesome.
they'd have shared that with me, because I've been,
I think that they just decided, like, they just.
I didn't know I knew they were gonna help finance it.
Yeah, they just told me like 5 minutes before the
Oh,
meeting
that's
started.
wonderful, Nicole.
Who's they?
I think it's.
The alumni.
Is it Carrie Morgan?
alumni.
Carrie, Sandra,
And Sandra Jacobs?
Terry and Sandra, they were just here delivering food.
Delivering what?
The food for the week, this
Oh,
weekend for the
okay.
meal.
Is
For
that who
November.
Carrie and Sandra?
That's who I assumed she talked to, because
Yeah.
she was just.
Oh, okay. Well,
We're
I
just
had
here.
talked to them earlier about helping with the finance of it, and they said, of course. And because I didn't mean to go break dancing, and that threw me for a big loop, and I learned a lot of humility there, truly, because I've never been home for 2.5 months. That I don't even think when I was an infant I was home for 2.5. But anyway, I wanted to update you on that. And I was out at the cemetery. That's the signs of advancement of Alzheimer's. Anyway, I did get to thank Shane. Commented to him about how nice the cemetery looks.
We've been working out there pretty hard.
Well, I didn't know who all we were. But
Well, and then we got a landscaper to do the mowing, but
Yeah, Schulte did.
He's
the one that
been-
does the-
well, anyway, it's most appreciated because I had family come this last week to
Oh,
put their flowers
and
out.
I've also got the monument company, they're gonna come set your headstone Thursday.
Is it Thursday? That's something else and I didn't know to whom they had made contact.
They called me
because
today.
I was talking to him today. And will you or Shane?
I'll be out there, yeah, because they're gonna do some work, they're gonna do some estimates for us, so yeah, I'll be out there.
Okay, and I would like to be there.
Okay, I can call you.
I figured you would, Nicole.
All right.
Okay.
Let me make a note of that, so just so I don't
I
forget.
thought we had the gentleman from Nest City hired to do our cemetery.
That's
He-
what she's
he's
making
mowing.
comments on, yeah.
Oh.
That's who does the mowing, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
but we've been out there, like, Shane's been watering and stuff, like getting, just making
Picking up
it,
the
picking
big-
up
the
stuff.
big
and-
branches.
Well, that's what I
Yeah.
noticed around the edges.
Yeah, making it look nicer.
Okay.
But I don't know when it's looked that manicured too. But anyway, those were the items I wanted to mention this evening. And it is nice for the community to work together. And I just want to encourage it, and I wish I were physically able to help more, but with Brant and Haley moving, that's going to make a difference for me also. But there's always Jeff and Anita. So, right, where are you?
Yep.
So, but anyway,
I'm stout.
and I want to thank those of you that are doing the back work and all the work. And Alex done a lot of things for me too, Ron.
I know. And
So,
it's definitely not appreciated, so,
well, I gave him a monetary stipend,
well,
but
you're the exception, but.
But I have appreciated him, so. But thank you.
Thank you, Arlene. Next.
Does this stand?
I think that's probably just an extra, Arlene.
Okay.
Yeah, you can have it. All right. Next, we will have the consent agenda to pay bills and approve the minutes. Has everyone had a chance to read over the minutes?
Yeah.
Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes?
No.
Okay. If there's no additions or corrections to the minutes, then I would make a motion to accept the consent agenda. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to accept the consent agenda. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same side, motion carried. All right, next we have resolutions and ordinances.
That was just like an
This is just
update.
for informational?
Yeah.
Okay, so for informational only, Charter Ordinance 2023-1 is in effect chartering out of the residency requirements for the city attorney and city marshal. And then Charter Ordinance 2023-2 will go into effect on June 19th, 2023, chartering out of the weekly meetings. Next, we'll have commissioner reports.
I don't really have anything to report. Last week I went to my little brother's funeral, so I was out of town. So I didn't get anything done. I was gonna talk to guys down here, what's the company down here that does the grain?
Midland?
Oh,
Yeah, I was gonna talk to Midland. Well, I didn't get that done, so. We haven't heard from, Robbie Skillett yet. He'll get our gravel over to us when he gets around to it. Sometimes he's a little bit slow. But he never forgets us, so I'll show up eventually. That's about it, except I'm in the process of shoveling out the gutter around our square block over there. And a couple of people have started shoveling their gutters out, and it looks great.
Yeah, it was
gotta
hard
do-
work.
It is hard work, but it makes a big difference. And I see there's people killing weeds in the street also, which also makes a big difference. Makes it look a lot better. I've got a lot of that to do around my square block. And, eventually we'll get to the road work. Haven't got to any of that yet either. So anyway, not much going on with Joe Titman. So anyway, that's it.
Okay.
Joe,
Norma?
our sympathies.
Yeah.
yes, I'm sorry to hear that.
I didn't know.
I didn't either.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
That's smart. When it's your baby brother, or
Yeah.
any brother.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty tough on everybody. But thank you.
Joe just got back from visiting his mom. Joe just got back from visiting his mom in South Dakota.
Bless her heart.
This is her 4th child that she's
We've lost 4.
I understand
But thank you for your condolences. That's all.
Norma, do you have anything?
Shane and I got the burn pit burned. Yay.
That was a chore.
It was. It was a quick hot fire. Shane went out at about 6. He told me he woke up. There was absolutely no wind. He says, today's the day. So he ran out and started it. And then I came out. I called him because I knew he was going to do it. And I says, or I texted him and I says, do you know when you're going out? He goes, already been out. I've got to go and be back out in a little bit. And so I went out and then we started cleaning up everything around. And we found a little bit of wire and stuff out there. So we got all that picked up. We got the pile that's been on the side that's been questionable for a long time. Everything, and thanks to our dumpsters, we could get rid of all that stuff. So we got rid of everything out there. I guess if you can call a burn pit spick and span, it's spick and span. That's about as good as I can put that one. But we did get all the stuff pretty well cleaned up, and where we can, we would definitely know if anybody went in. Shane also is going to work on the other sign that says what's out there, and I pulled that gate up because it really was kind of pushed back. So I got that pulled up, and he's going to put the other, he found one down in the machine building, so he's going to pull that one out and spruce it up a little bit and put it out there also. So we're really, really, really trying to keep it open all the time so people don't have to call, don't have to keep coming. It really, I was truly amazed at how many people use our burn pit. I mean, it really is used, and everybody uses it, and we encourage you to do so. So, but it is just grass, brush, and trees. So if we can kind of keep it at that point, and that would be very helpful, very, very helpful. So we did get, and I know on Shane's part, he got all the lots mowed this last week, and I asked him if he needed help, let me know, and he did manage to get those all done, and he weed-eated the park. It really looks nice. And it all came together. I think we're working there. And I will say, in regards to Ron, I did get a call and I'm not going to debate this, but I did get a call from Rose, and she says, who's been on my lot, who stole the mowers, blah, blah, blah. I said, if you have any problem, and I did state this, I says, I guess you would need to call the sheriff's department, because I said, I know the cleanup crew went around, but I have no idea who was on or not on there. I am not living in that house. I don't see it. So no, I didn't. And I did direct that direction because I didn't know who it was. As far as Alex, I love Alex. Alex has done a great job in our city. I don't have any problems with Alex. He's been a kid that has picked up cans. We missed him when he quit picking up cans. He had picked up cans for years here, before he ever lived here. So, no, Alex has done a great job. I have no qualms against Alex whatsoever, or your family. We'll just continue to try to work together. That's all.
Okay. And from my mayor's report, I just want to let you know, that's why I was checking my phone, sorry. The reason I was checking is because I'm waiting for a quote from Tri-County Asphalt. I called them today. They're out of Arkansas. They have a place in Wichita, and he does service out here. Nicole had given me the name of him. I'm not sure where she got the name
I don't
from
even
him.
know where I got it actually. I just had it in my office and he didn't have anything to do, so
she wanted me to give him a call, but I called him and I was telling him about, we're trying to figure out what street in this town is the worst that maybe we could start on, and she needs for her budget some sort of a amount to be able to budget in to try to do one street a year, if possible, or maybe hopefully more than one street a year. So I talked to Tri-County Asphalt. He did a GPS coordinate estimate for us based upon our GPS coordinates, and he was sending me text messages and telling me, does this look right? Is this where it should be? How do you how long is your road? When does it turn into sand? And he was just a little short because he hadn't saw the other part of like where Sid's building used to be over there by Midland, so on the other side of the tracks. So he got that added in. But he said this is a 99.9% accurate estimate. He said, but if I'd come out there, he said that they do estimates, but I was not sure what it was going to cost for him to come out here. He said he wanted to give us an estimate on this first, but if we didn't like that estimate, he said that he could come out here and do it in person. However, he usually does these estimates for GPS coordinates all the time. And a town of Oxford, I guess, they gave them the option to actually just do the cracks and seal it for the actual, their roads there in Oxford. And it was cheaper than resurfacing and rebuilding and all that. But I did tell him, look, we're not necessarily just looking for a quick fix. We're looking to figure out something's going to last. So we want to make sure what options you have. Throw us out all the options you have and give us prices on what you think, based upon your opinion, what is it that's going to make this road last? How can we save money? How can we, go ahead and get the best bang for our buck, basically. And they said he was going to send me those quotes, and I told him that our meeting was at 6, hoping that maybe you have them by 6:30 at the latest, and they haven't sent them to me yet. But I asked him to do one, because Nicole had mentioned Beach Street with Shirley Higgins's is pretty bad, and that road's pretty traveled. So I had him do Main Street and then Beach Street, and he's supposed to give me quotes on those. But he did tell me, because first I had asked for Main, and then she said Beach. So I said, well, I'll just go ahead and ask for both. But he told me, he said, if we do get Main Street and it's something you guys want to get on quick, depending on where your finances are on that, he said, and if it's approved and everything, he goes, then we could technically order the materials at the same time that we order for Main Street. He goes, and then I would cut you guys a deal on Beach Street at a lower rate. And I was like, okay, so I talked to him a little bit about that, but that's who I made contact with today. I tried to make contact with.
Did he give you any kind of?
He didn't even give me a ballpark
any kind
figure.
Of money figure?
No, not yet.
Just throwing it out there, and I'll probably get hung by the county or the neighborhood here. But what about a small assessment from everybody to get all the roads done? Just a thought.
Well, I don't disagree with you. I mean, just an estimate.
Well, I'm just saying a small assessment from each homeowner to get the roads done. What would it be? And everybody would have to buy in on it.
Like a special assessment?
Specials.
That would be like, yeah, we'd have to have it during, that would have to go to a vote. We'd have to have.
Well,
it
that's what
during-
I'm saying.
yeah.
That's just
So maybe
about
put that on the ballot
On the
for
ballot.
the
to
November.
get all the roads done. And just give you an estimate on the whole roads, and what it would be as a breakdown.
It'd be, yeah, probably because it's not gonna get any cheaper.
No, it's not going to get any cheaper.
No.
But if there's a special assessment for each person to maybe just accomplish this, it's just a thought thrown out there. I can already hear the rope
rumbles.
swinging in my yard with my neck in it, but
Well, just a FYI, the school will have also a bond issue on this year's ballot.
Yeah, I knew that.
So that's a good time to put ours on.
No,
there,
it's
too?
probably not a good
probably
time.
don't think so, no.
No,
Oh, not a good time.
No.
you don't want to double.
yeah, but it'd be just for the community. We don't care about it.
No, but the community will be voting
They'll be
for the
affected by
bond
the school
issue.
district.
Yeah, well, I'll be
Versus the whole
voting no.
county.
There ain't enough people here for it.
No, that school in Lacrosse.
Why do we care about lacrosse?
Because where do you guys have our kids in our?
Yeah, but how many kids are here?
Quite a few.
About 15.
We have quite a few that they bus actually.
Yeah.
The
affects
enrollment
this town.
encompasses Alexander, Rush Center, Albert, Liebenthal, and McCracken. There's quite a few communities that feed into lacrosse.
And Bison.
And, well, Bison pretty much, well, there's some from Bison that come over. But the other, well, Bison kind of splits, half goes to Otis and half goes to lacrosse. But the majority of the children are from the outlying areas at lacrosse enrollment. And we need to consider that.
Yeah.
And Bazine, I forgot Bazine,
Yeah.
Devin Brown.
Oh, yeah.
And there's some of those that come to lacrosse.
Yeah, there's several Ness County kids that come to lacrosse, actually.
What I was gonna say, on Shirley Street,
Uh-huh.
years back when Dennis was on the commission, and you know, when it rains, Shirley gets that pond and then that ditch gets full. Well, that was surveyed, professionally surveyed, and it's a drainage thing, and they were told back then that you were gonna have to fix the drain before you could fix the road.
Okay.
So
Now, Ty's surveyed that for her before, hasn't he?
Mhm.
Okay.
But somehow somebody then later said, they said there'd have to be a dam or something, put a little dam built south of town or something for it to drain into, and I don't remember anything like that. It was a matter of leveling it down so it would drain.
Just cutting that.
Well, if that's the case, they could drain into 3rd Street. It's closed anyways. Bunch of trees. No.
Well, it'd have to be raised, but I don't know where it's gonna go after that. I mean,
Isn't
it'd
it a
go down
culvert?
to the,
Yeah, there's a culvert there by her driveway.
Yeah, I don't
And
know.
that culvert was messed up.
There might be,
Always got
I'm
clogged.
just saying, because there might be some papers with that.
Yeah.
There might be somewhere I
There's-
can, I mean, I'd have to
And
look
if it's not,
specifically.
if not, we probably just need to contact him to see if he can shoot it again for us so we get some accurate information on it. Because I
Yeah,
know
that's just gonna
that's,
keep on messing
yeah,
up.
I know that's the problem.
Yeah, well, and, you know, when that ditch gets full and they can't mow it.
Well, ours, actually, right at our house, it gets, when it
Yeah.
rains, it gets full too, but just doesn't do what Shirley's does though.
Yeah,
at Shirley's house, it would
Who's
have to
that?
go, it would have to drain to the south, right?
yes, that's the way I understood it back then.
That's the way I see it, but I don't
Yeah.
know where it's gonna go.
My dogs like that.
They were gonna
It goes-
have to just lower that.
Most of the water
ditch.
most of the water
Right
from
by
my,
ties, actually.
it actually goes down between ties in my property right there. There's a lot of water right there at one time, where it kind of dips down on Maple.
Yeah.
Either that fills up, and then the one up by Shirley's fills up, and then the one over by Ron Johnson fills up. And Carolyn, those are usually they were our splash puddles as kids, because that's where we ride our bikes through and get splashed.
Yeah, if it drains off to the south, then it would have to go east. Because the elevation, there's a higher elevation as you go west.
And there's bigger drain ditches down by, like on Ash Street, they've got those full cement ones. And then there's ones could be on the east, no, it would be the west of the highway. And then over on Harold Herdman's, there's another one of those. And then there's one down by Travis's. Those are the ones that have the cement ones.
Yeah.
It just doesn't seem to do it like it does it right in front of Shirley's house every
Injectors,
at every place, It just seems to really get real bad right there.
Yeah, so if we got that, if we raised her ditch, raised the elevation of her ditch, and drained it off to the east, there's really nothing out there. And so if it puddled out there, it's not a big thing really. So we raise the elevation of the ditch next to her house and get it to drain off to the east, and maybe raise the road a little bit.
Yeah,
I don't think the road actually needs raised. We just need to deal with that ditch.
yeah, I think it just needs to deal
But
with. I don't know anything
that's-
about surveying or land or any kind of drainage issues.
That's one of the reasons she's got that big hole right there. Because when there's a big puddle in the street, every time a car goes through it splashes the pavement out if there's a weak spot there.
And there's a
just
lot of
keeps getting
traffic
worse
down
and
that road.
worse.
There's just a lot of traffic.
Yeah, so that does need to be fixed. We need to fix that drainage. And that's not hard to do. Shane might be able to do it with the Bobcat. If you scoop some of that dirt off to the east of Shirley's and put it right there at Shirley's and get that moving off of her property. Once it's off her property, there's really nothing to the east of her, is there? It's just vacant lots and stuff.
Well, Tyrell's got that property this way to the east. And
I
then
have the property where the
Jeannie has where the
shed's
shed's at.
And it goes
Jeannie
clear
has
down
a
to the
ditch.
end. That lot south of Shirley's, it goes clear down that ditch, and then that ditch gets full and it runs over the road to the east. And it should go on south where that house of Ruth Crawshaw's is at.
No,
I wonder
it turns and goes down and
Yeah.
it gets stuck right there and tied.
Yeah.
I wonder if
Or
it's not
puddle.
draining because the gutters need cleaned out, like scooped out.
The culverts?
Just all the streets, all the gutters on all the streets. How they,
Yeah,
That probably doesn't
the problem I'm having with it is once it gets down there, if you go all the way down to the dirt road that goes along the silos, then it's got no place to go.
right?
Because you got the railroad tracks
Well,
there.
the Ruth's right there by Shirley's. There's a good raise between like where Shirley's part is and then where Ruth's is. Because Ruth on her side by her old house, it's a lot flatter than that other road. So it doesn't really travel.
Doesn't run off.
No, it doesn't run off.
I'm just thinking if we can get it
But even
to
if
go
you-
south a block or two,
Mm-hmm.
then it's not as much of a problem as if it's sitting right there at Beach Street at Shirley's place.
Yeah, because then at other places it puddles is down like on that road that they have by Midland, right there at their
Yeah.
elevator.
And maybe that'd kind of motivate them to kind of help us with that road over there.
Mm-hmm.
It can be, it'd be a chore and it'd be an expense, but a storm drain down that road over there by Midland, it's already going downhill when you go east. But really, where do you go from there? I don't know where.
So we just time to ask for grant money for things like that for infrastructure.
Yeah, that would be a grant, because
We've got a lot of that money available right now.
Well,
Mhm.
doesn't it all end up in that little creek there that we was just talking about there by Linda Dale?
yeah,
south
we
of
could
Linda?
get it there with a
I
storm,
think
with a
that's
storm
what's
drain.
supposed to
It's
end up
supposed to.
now, right? Yeah.
It's supposed to.
But just fixing that ditch and getting it off of Beach Street and out of Shirley's yard would be a big help, and then maybe we look at a grant to.
Yeah,
put in
because there are a
storm drain.
lot of grants, and I just took that class, so I've got a lot of information on that.
So have you written any grants yet?
I haven't, I have not.
Come on,
yet.
come on. Why haven't you done?
Actually, though, there is gonna be a questionnaire, like, I'm gonna send out soon, I think in the water bill, that everybody's gonna need to fill out, so I can have data as that part of it. So,
Cool.
I just wanted to give everybody a heads up on that. That if you guys could fill it out, it'd be awesome.
Okay, so that's what I found out. I looked again here, we'll check. I haven't got anything from him yet, but did he send it to you by chance? I gave him
I
your
don't
email
know.
too.
I don't know, I don't have my email on the computer anymore.
I told him if not, I would forward it to you anyways.
Okay.
But the other thing I had was, I just came from the library board meeting before I got here, and as Jeff talked to you about, who called you? Okay, he's supposed to call you and tell you what the prices were to add us to them, or add them to EMC. And then that would determine whether or not we're going to pay their bill, or
He hasn't-
they're going
I haven't
to.
heard anything from
But
it.
June 10th is when their building and contents goes off.
Is that their insurance?
Their insurance. And Jeff told me on the phone that he could very easily put them underneath their policy. We just needed to see what it was going to cost for the quote, and then
So we
after
know.
that,
Yeah, he
it
has
was
not
whether up
contacted
to
me.
us whether we wanted to put them under a policy and us pay it. Because whether we put them under, we have to put them under a policy regardless. So
Right.
whether or not we're going to pay it or they're going to pay the premium,
Right.
just based on the city's budget. So, and then his other suggestion was that if we paid it, even though we were paying it since the library was done by a federal grant, that he would suggest that we put them as a secondary beneficiary, and that money, if the library was for some reason to burn down, that money would go to the library to rebuild, and give them the option to see if they want to rebuild, not necessarily the city the option whether they want to rebuild, or what they want to do with that money. So that would be something that would have to be put into.
Well, more likely, they would be more apt to rebuild if they knew that security was there
Yeah.
rather than not. That's
So-
the kind of way I see it.
Yeah, that's the way he explained it to me, because they don't want to give the library back to the city because they don't want to lose their funding.
Right.
So I understand
Which makes
that, but
sense.
it's kind of like a catch-22. They also don't want the library to burn down their contents and then somebody decide, well, we're not going to go ahead and build the building again because it'd be a financial expense, or we're going to have to come up with X more amount of money because we were underinsured or overinsured. So he just said that would be a suggestion. So I told him I'd bring that to you guys to talk to you about. And as far as everything for the cleanup, will be done Wednesday, be our last day. Mike came over today and set new dumpsters. There should be another new dumpster on Main. I don't know if you took that one by Dave's or if it's still over there or not. I haven't.
It's gone.
It's gone.
It's gone, okay.
And
And it's
one-
not up on Main?
Well, there's 3 of them
Just
on
the-
Main.
Oh, there is 3 of them on Main? Okay, then they're both up there. 'Cause
And the
then-
one by Travis's is gone.
Okay, so that must be up on Main then. Because he was gonna dump them, and then he was gonna set them up there, and all the existing stuff that was up there, he said, we just need to put into those other dumpsters. One full of mattresses, one full of metal, and one full of furniture. So, and then, I'm not sure if Lance is in town today or not. He's supposed to be leaving for an appointment, so I'm not sure if he's in town today or not. But I was gonna call him after our meeting and see if he wanted to pack down those. And if he's not able to, then I'm gonna see if Garrett will be able to use Mitch's backhoe. I learned that the skid steer and the backhoe are completely different. And we've been calling it a backhoe this whole time, the city has, and it's not, it's a skid steer.
Yeah.
Because we were gonna use it to pack down
Just
the
me.
metal, and it does, the arm's too big, it won't fit right.
Mitch has a backhoe?
Yes,
Yeah.
Oh,
Mitchell
great.
has an actual backhoe,
Yeah, that'll pack it down.
okay, and break up the other appliances, smash them down.
Yeah.
So that's what we've been using is Mitch's backhoe.
Awesome.
So
will
kudos
they
to Lance
take
for helping us with that.
refrigerator that's sitting down there now?
The refrigerator's sitting down there?
There's a small refrigerator.
They'll just have to
We'll just
smash,
check
they'll
it
have to
and
smash
see.
that, and then the water line, or the water wash machine, and I think they're running a dryer down there, air conditioner. those are all gonna have to be smashed by the backhoe before they're even put in the bin. That's how Mike told me to do them, so. Also, I believe within, for Memorial Day, they're gonna have that dinner here at the Legion, or at the community building for the pool, and with the pool next week, no, this coming week, and next week, plans are to go down there and get, working on trying to see where we're at as far as getting it cleaned out and checking the water levels to see, because you're told to mark it, see how low it dropped, and then if not, we could not have the pool. So I want to discuss that with you guys about how I want to go about ordering the paint and any of that, if this is to go ahead as far as whether the water lanes are good or not.
Did we get some report back from the company that? No?
They haven't emailed you that yet? Okay. I'll call her again. She was supposed to email you that whole report
Okay.
this week.
What do we got
On Friday.
Salina?
Yep. So I talked to her on Friday, so. But that was his report as far as that is. Right now, prior to him compiling our report for us, he said to just go ahead and clean it all out, because it needs to be cleaned out anyways. Clean it all out and then just check the level, see at a 4 foot, mark it, see how much we're
See how much
using.
it leaks?
Yeah, and if it doesn't leak,
Who's that?
the Pools Plus in Salina, the guy that did our estimate.
Okay, they're the ones that are supposed to give us a complete report or a
Yeah,
more.
right.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, I'd say that's a good idea, to at least clean it up and,
Because really, we should be able to know if the drain's our problem by doing that, and then Nicole's got a camera that she borrowed from a friend that you can put down the drain to check to see what's going on with the drain.
oh, good.
So, you need what cord, you told me?
Android, like an old Android cord, or
Just a
Android
charger.
phone. No, the phone, because that's what the cord is.
An Android phone, she needs an old Android phone.
I think I have one.
Really?
On the
Because that's what the cord
I
with the
might have
camera
my
goes. It
husband's
hooks into the
phone. Is
phone.
it Android? I think I still have it.
Okay.
That's the one with
Oh,
the
I
little
have
prongs,
the
little
iPhone.
short prongs. Before this, it's the one with it's not the big razor one, it's the one with the tiny little Android prongs that are on there.
I'll show you.
Yeah,
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
How long's the camera?
It's like that long, it'd do you perfect just for, that short amount. It's not very long, but
Give us an idea.
Well, if it's leaking and we can't find the leak with that camera, we can get CN
Right.
and drain to come out.
I think that it's the perfect length to see, because those can't be that deep, because I know that they didn't put them that deep, so they could be torn out easily and fixed.
From the
I think.
blueprints is that what you see?
And that's what I read.
That's probably not a.
Yeah, but that
57.
line goes all the way back up to the pump.
That's just gotta be a pretty good line.
Yeah.
I have no
So
idea.
hopefully,
I mean, at least
if
it'll
it's a
be
problem,
show us
hopefully we
something,
can see it with that camera.
and it'll be free. So
Yeah,
just to
free's
look.
good.
From the start,
So would we want to then maybe make a motion if that camera don't work to just have us come out and look at it?
yeah, I'll make a motion that whatever the name is.
CNF plumbing, right?
CN.
CNC?
CN. Sewer.
CN, like,
Or CN drain.
Okay.
Yeah, Charlie November.
Okay.
Guy's name is Chris.
Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to have CN, sewer and drain, come out if the whole camera doesn't work, so we can get a better camera video picture of what problem's going on in the drain. All those
and then
drains
if
are
that's
high.
okay, then we'll get paint and get paint.
I'll put that in this motion.
I'll put that
Okay.
in, yes.
Okay. Well, let's
If
fix this one.
if the drain checks out to
Okay.
hold the water like it should, then I make a motion that we purchase the epoxy paint that needs to be for the pool, and so we can paint it.
What about the cement stuff, like the
The cement sealer. You
like
found
the
sealer?
crack?
Crack
Yeah.
sealer?
That too.
Well, you wouldn't be able
Yeah.
to paint it without the sealer.
Yeah, because we need to, there, And he told us not to go into a lot of depth with that, but, you
Yeah.
know, where that one corner is kind of bad, yeah. Any feasible repairs that we can do.
Okay, is there a second?
Okay,
I'll second that.
okay, it's been moved and seconded to add in purchasing the paint and the sealer,
There is
if there's nothing wrong with the drain.
an alternative to epoxy we should look at though.
Okay,
And I'll find it. I looked at it on the internet. I'll have to look it up again.
all those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same side, motion carried. Okay. I don't think I have anything else on there. Nicole?
I don't have anything, and I wrote the treasurer's report up there.
Okay. Okay, the next thing on old business is the burn pit ordinance.
I could not locate that. I looked and looked and looked, and I don't think that there has ever been
I
one.
don't think there's ever been an ordinance on them.
So, and the cemetery fee ordinance, I couldn't find that either. And I looked through all of the ordinances. So we've never had one. I think it's just been in minutes. So I think that's what Norman and I decided that it just must be it. The fees for that must have been agreed to in the minutes in the past. So there's never actually been like a resolution or ordinance setting them.
Okay. And Chris didn't have anything in the compilation of stuff you had.
Nope, I looked through that too.
So, what we need to look for?
I don't know. I
ordinance
said
set up, or-
I said I would look, and I didn't see that. I don't know how you guys want to proceed on that. If you guys want to make one, I don't know.
Well, on the cemetery, I think because that's under a will trust, there's a lot of different legality to that as far as that goes. But I would ask Chris and have
Well,
him check that out.
Prior to when we were talking with him about the headstones and stuff, he looked up in there for the cemetery and what with the will trust, what we can and can't do type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it basically says in there that the cemetery, like, we basically are considered the beneficiaries. So we were to be able to go under mortuary law and actually set up our fees or any of the maintenance or all that is kind of our own thing we can do on that as far as how we can run it. It's administratively ran through us, but when it comes to the will trust, that's all done according
Right, we
to
have
state
to
law
do
and the
that,
trust
yeah.
laws. So it's something we need to put in effect because we did notice when we were looking through a couple different places. People have been quoted like it was $25 for their actual plot, but then it was $100 for the lot. But that's not even what it is in the book, what they're charging now. It's $150, right, for the
I'm
the
not
plot?
sure what we decided. I know it's if you're
We
out of
found it in
town,
the
it's
book.
600.
Out of town, 600. The other's 300, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it would be 150. Yeah. So it used to be 25 and 50, and I think sometime they've gone up. But we don't have any resolution or ordinance that says they've gone up. So we're trying to figure out if we need to set something in stone.
Probably have to check in minutes to see first.
Yeah, I'd have to go back and look.
There's nothing in
There's-
Chris's minutes.
In the minutes?
No, like not in minutes, but in the ordinances.
No,
Yeah,
there's
nothing.
not a single thing.
Because he looked through there, and it doesn't even show where they set up this
Yeah.
$150.
Right.
And there's no, was there, when Chris Alt was in here, was there a race as far as that?
There's nothing, no ordinance ever on the cemetery.
No, but in those books
In
that
the
we had,
minutes?
in the books that we had,
Oh.
remember, we looked at one and it went,
No, I don't
they
think
don't,
so.
they don't even jive.
Yeah, I
Because
don't.
the
It
first
doesn't really
cemetery
tell.
book-
It's, I think in 1995 for sure. That's when they went to what they are now. That's the last time then, because that's when that book started was in 1995, and so they've always been that price in 1995. Before that, I'm not sure.
Yeah, because Fred Taylor had some that were.
It really doesn't make a lot of sense.
They don't make sense as far as like there's, so like Isis Eisenhower, where she's buried, That's actually the Athenian Club. Was it Athenian Club?
The New Era.
The New Era Club. The New Era Club owned that whole section. But that's where Isis Eisenhower was buried. But she was in that club, but we don't even know how that.
How does the club buy?
That's my
plots?
question.
Well,
Yeah.
I think maybe for their members.
Might have
And
been.
they
Could
might
it have a
charge-
charity thing, maybe?
Yeah, that was my question, was how that worked. But that's when you look it up on the actual map, it states right there, New Era Club, on the
Well, then I know
framed map.
there's somebody buried out there, and he was from out of state, and he was working here, I think, just seasonally, and he was injured and killed in a farming accident, and he's buried there in that plot
In the New Era
or
Club.
in that lot. I mean, yeah. I don't know. Maybe
that's
they
what
bought
we thought
that
it
just
was, like
for
pot
people
of
that
steel.
couldn't afford.
People couldn't
Yeah, I have
afford
no
things.
idea.
I don't know what the reason behind it was, but
I don't even know
they
how I found
have
that out.
So when we were looking at, well, people want to buy plots, what do we have to sell? What ones are open? Or who do we need to see if maybe they have nobody else that are going to be buried in these plots, and can we contact them to resell plots? Because that's a thing now, but how do we go about it? So we were looking into all that, and that's where we found out that the New Era Club had it, so I'm not sure.
Are there 8 in a plot?
8 in a
Yes.
lot, yeah.
Or a
In
lot?
a lot.
And a plot is one.
Plots one, yeah.
And there's a lot of them that there's only one person buried in the whole lot. And I mean, it's filling up. But if we could resell some of those, it'd be nice. We're just looking into all that.
Well, yeah, and a lot of it's because funeral homes are calling and asking.
Yeah.
And then we're going, okay, well, this person's here. So I'll be honest, we had to get Carolyn and Shirley, our town historians, to tell us who was so-and-so and how many kids did they have, or did they have kids, because they have no documentation on these plots, but they're going to pass away and they want to be buried here. Is there room for them? And then you kind of have to make a decision of, well, that's this person's kid, and we assume they bought them for their kid, but we're not sure. So that's what we have to do all
That's how they were listed. Like whoever bought the lot was the only name that they put down, and they didn't actually write down who was buried in there. So you don't know if it's full or not, and I had to do a lot of checking, going out there myself and looking, and but I think that it's getting all
Well, I know,
straightened
because
out.
even when my grandma bought her plot area, she bought it just with the assumption that her kids may want it.
Right, but you never know, because these people, they called me from Wyoming, and it was the funeral home actually, and they're not dead yet, but they're worried that they're not going to have anywhere else to go.
Right.
And they didn't know if they still had a place here, and they didn't know whose name it was under, and we
Yeah.
had to call and figure all of it out.
Yeah, and the books are, I mean, Bill did a great job keeping up his side, but once it kind of stopped after Georgia and the actual clerks that were doing it, it just kind of changed. And it didn't change just from those 2 clerks, it changed from years and years where it was like the prices had changed. They were only like $10, and then one was like $2. So like it just,
It
all
was really weird.
changed.
The records are really weird.
So Nicole, she's been very diligent and got everything going on that, as far as she got new books and new certificates. She's got a receipt to give to people, what we can retain for our records, so that we can get what we have existing back up to speed. So thank you for that.
I don't want to dig up anybody on accident. It's like one of my biggest...
Poltergeist.
Oops.
Okay, so you talked to Kansas Granite?
Yes, I did. I talked to them today, and they will be out Thursday to set that stone, and then they will be looking at and taking pictures of what we've got. They're going to be able to give us an estimate that day, but then I haven't gotten an estimate back from Keithley either. So,
Okay.
but I met with them last week.
But you
Out
got an
there.
estimate from Schmidt?
Schmidt, he didn't give me an estimate. He kind of did. He told me what he would charge. He didn't take pictures or anything like Keithley did, but we went through the whole cemetery, him and I did, and he took pictures of every single one that was getting ready to fall, that had already fallen, all of them. So he took like thorough pictures. I was standing there right when he did it.
Okay. I see that that's on. I see that's on new business, and that's technically old business because we talked about fixing headstones already. So,
But yeah, that's 3 companies that we will be telling us.
so Okay, so then next I would make a motion at this time that it's 7:37. That we go into executive session for 10 minutes, you think? Yeah, I would say make a motion to go into executive session for, we'll do 15 minutes.
Okay, at what time?
So it's 7:38.
Okay.
And that'll be to talk about non-elected personnel.
Yeah, you need a second.
I'll second that.
Okay. Then moved and seconded to go into executive session to talk about non-elected personnel. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
Joe?
Aye.
Okay. And they're gonna put us out now.
55, 7:55.
7:55? Okay. So, moved and seconded to go into executive session at 7:37, I said right?
It's what, 7, I was
7:37
just go
till
from
7:55. Okay.
Okay.
We'll reconvene we'll go out to, executive session will be out in the other room, the dining room, and we will come back in here at 7:55. All those in favor say aye.
I already did that.
Aye.
Same side, okay, motion carried.
Well, I think I'll go home.
This is say off the.
Okay, we came back here for an executive session at 7:55 now. It's 7:57. I'm going to call the meeting back to order. Next thing on our agenda was the maintenance. I think we've already pretty well talked about that. Was there anything else on cemetery maintenance?
No.
Actually, I would like to order a flag for out there for that middle flagpole and a light to, like, if that's okay?
You can, but I know the Legion always puts one out on Memorial Day.
For the middle one, like that.
Mhm.
Don't you think
Yeah.
there should be one all the time?
It wouldn't
no?
hurt. It
I mean,
wouldn't
I thought it
hurt
would-
my feelings. I think I like it, but
Okay.
yeah.
2 flags then?
Yeah.
The Kansas and the United
Okay.
States?
You can buy a flag light that clamps onto the
Pole, right?
pole, and it's got a stick that comes out here, and then the light shines
Okay.
up on it.
Yeah, I got a whole magazine full of like the flag stuff, so,
Yeah.
because I think it has to be illuminated.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah, so I just was out there and I thought that would look nice.
It would.
Yep.
Okay.
I'll keep it under 500.
Can you make a motion for purchase?
I'll make a motion for her to purchase a flag and a light for the cemetery.
Okay.
Second that.
It's been moved and seconded to purchase the flags and the light for the cemetery. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same side. Motion carried. Oh, aye. Okay. The one thing I was going to ask you, I noticed, did you by chance, well, no, you might have. Norma, did you see anybody out at the cemetery today? Have you been out at the cemetery? Anybody been out at the cemetery today?
I wasn't allowed to.
Okay, so it would have been yesterday. So yesterday, Spanky called me and told me that he was going to spray the cemetery. So the guy that was coming needed to wait at least a couple days to get that mowed. So he did make the comment though that there was a bunch of sandburrs
Yes.
down at the cemetery.
They are in those bushes
Yes.
that are along the lines. They're real bad. And actually,
And up by the pump houses.
Deb Rogers came to me and said that she had that the youth group could go clean those out. You know?
Oh, dig 'em out?
Yeah, because it's just the bushes a lot, and they're bad.
Okay, and then there's several in the park, I guess. And so I asked him what we do, and he said, well, basically, since it's a drought, you know, you only spray them once a year. He said, we just basically are at a standstill because it's a drought. But he said, we'll spray for them, whether it kills them all or
Oh,
not.
I was talking about the dead ones already that are in the
Oh,
bushes.
okay.
Never mind.
Yeah, no, these are the ones that are apparently alive. But he told me that the way to get rid of them is to spray twice a year instead of once a year. So I didn't know if that was something we were interested in doing, is spraying twice a year to keep those down, or if it's not, so.
I would. I hate those things.
They're just, yeah, they're bad.
It would have to be just looked into in the budget to see if that is something we could afford, so.
Yeah, I would say do it. Once they're gone,
Yeah, then they're gone.
then they're gone, and if they do show up again, you can dig them out. If they're all over the place, they gotta spray them. Or if it's a,
Okay. So is there a motion to have her look into the budget and see if it's something we can do to move it to twice a year then?
yes, I would motion, a motion that we look into spraying sandburrs twice a year,
Okay,
Second it.
at least this year.
okay. It's been moved and seconded to look into spraying sandburrs twice a year for at least this year. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign, motion carried.
And since the code enforcement, since nothing got done on that, I figured maybe we could table that. I meant to take it off the agenda, but I forgot.
Code enforcement?
I just saw it, yeah.
So we're gonna talk to Waukene about how they do theirs and get some ideas from them and maybe some names.
Okay,
I was gonna do that, but I had that funeral.
Right, that's why I figured we could just table it then maybe.
Yeah, let's,
well, we could table it. With that being said, he said about Waukene, I talked to Chris that day. I can call him back and see what next Monday works for him to come and.
come over.
Yeah, to come over and
Because
kind
we
of
got 4
tell us.
more Mondays, like weekly Mondays.
Okay.
Or maybe that's an option where we could give one Monday to him, give one Monday to her, and kind of see what come up with.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, so we'll make a motion to, I guess we're on table it then, right? Do we want to table it
No.
then? Okay. Okay,
It'll
so
just
the
go on to old
next
business.
is the rodeo permit on new business.
Rodeo permit.
I don't know, I was thinking that maybe we could charge a special event permit.
We don't do anything
Is-
right now.
No.
I think we should, and, if somebody came in here to do some other event, we'd wanna charge them.
Right, and they said that they do all of them except for like a 501c nonprofit, they do not charge any kind of, they still have to fill out the permit, but they don't pay any fee.
Okay.
So if it's like a nonprofit, then they wouldn't pay any fee. They'd still need to fill out the permit though.
Right. I know this rodeo travels the country. They're on a circuit. They come out of Texas
I have no idea.
or Oklahoma. I don't know what they're called.
They're a sanctioned rodeo. So
Yeah, but
they're a
they-
KPR.
But I think they go to some other towns and they do.
Well, where they get the stock from does, yes.
But not the rodeo itself. They have to set their own rodeos up, but the stock comes
Stock.
from
It's
Texas.
the stock that the stock that like the riders and stuff ride, that comes from Texas. You're right there.
Doesn't this is just from what I gathered last time I went over there to the rodeo. It seems like a rodeo, what is it, leg litter?
Rodeo
That-
litter?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think they pay this rodeo company and they come up and put on the rodeo.
I have no idea.
No, they don't do that.
Yeah?
Well,
No.
okay, so
We actually, McCracken puts on the rodeo, but they are sanctioned through the KPR Rodeo Association. The stock only comes from, they can buy stock from anybody, but they've always bought for years from McCoy out of Texas.
so isn't that Alan
But-
Chloe Rodeo
Yeah,
Company?
but, well, they're called the rodeo company because they supply all these rodeos. They even do the national rodeo.
It's stock, I know it's stock.
But
With
it's,
just the stock?
but it's just
Yeah.
the stock.
And
yes.
they pay them?
Yes. Yes.
To
What
use
I
their
was-
animals.
Yeah.
What I was getting at is that if there's other cities that are doing rodeos like this, maybe we should try and contact them, see what kind of
I think, yeah, because over by Ellenwood, I think that there's somebody that does a rodeo like once a week.
Phillipsburg is supposed to be the rodeo capital of the world or
Yeah,
something
they
like
do.
that. They
I
do
could call
the
them and
biggest
see.
rodeo in the world or something.
But they do
Kind
a
of
lot
pick their
of,
brain a little
like
bit
high
and see if they do
school
any
training and
permit.
stuff like that.
I could do that. Yep.
There's different types of rodeos, because there's like, the junior rodeos, or there's the high school rodeos, they can be put into different categories.
Like, is there another rodeo that's comparable to ours?
Well, since we're a sanctioned rodeo, they're in the rodeo association. So,
Phillipsburg would be in there.
yeah, Phillips.
Okay, so if I called them, then that would be comparable?
Ask Brenda who the rodeo association is.
Okay.
That's who
I know nothing about it, so I don't.
But I do know, we put on, McCracken puts the rodeo on, but they purchased the stock.
The city of McCracken?
Well, not the city of
Oh.
McCracken, the rodeo association.
Okay, okay.
That
Citizens
group.
are on the board
that
for the
does it.
rodeo.
Yeah, the
Okay.
board of the rodeo.
Because anybody can join the board.
Yeah, but that board puts on the rodeo. I should have made that a little more clear. But then they purchased the stock from McCoy's.
This is a question we needed when Arlene was here.
Yeah, she did not. So what are you thinking for a fee for the?
I figured that I'd call Phillipsburg and see what they, like, because
I would check it out, because I
Other towns might say, we don't charge them anything because it brings lots of people here and we have
They've got
commerce that needs
businesses,
people
yeah.
that have businesses, so.
yeah. So I don't know on that. And maybe we also need to talk to the rodeo committee.
the board, yeah. Like, sit down with them and,
You're right,
Invite them to a meeting.
because I don't really want to blindside anybody on that.
Well, it's a good idea to have, and I wouldn't call this a rodeo permit, I'd call it an event permit.
well, I didn't know how to word
No, I
that.
understand, this makes it good, makes it easier for us to understand what we're doing here at the meeting, but,
It's called a special event permit, correct?
Yes. So that's what
you
my
said-
research showed.
You said that it takes away from the churches and the
Yeah.
American Legion and the nonprofits, right?
Uh-huh.
yeah, we should have that in place.
For any special event, I mean, really,
Not that we have a lot of special events, but if we do, and we should, it should be something that we strive for.
That's the one and only.
We should have an event permit and a small fee or a nominal fee to do that.
Roselle, you might check with them,
okay.
because they do Roselle Days. That's when the city actually gets involved and they block the whole street off and do street dances and stuff like that. And they sell beer at the fire station and stuff.
We should do something like that.
Yeah, because then we could get that consumption, common consumption,
I think the city of Roselle is the one that actually does it,
they probably do. Then you can get a common consumption area, you can sell alcohol
along
on,
with the fire department.
like, they can have alcohol on city property, like, so that it's not so strict, which I don't know how much of a good thing that would be, but.
Okay. So what I'm understanding here is we need to go ahead and make a motion for you to look into that.
And I will do that tomorrow.
Okay,
I know it's
so make a
coming
motion
up.
for Nicole to look into the special event, to talk to other towns. And I would also say that if us as commissioners are out and about or happen to see a rodeo person, ask them kind of their thoughts, figure out maybe, and maybe not even just the rodeo, but whoever is willing to do a special event,
I have a friend in Fort Wayne, Indiana, that puts on the Three Rivers Festival. It's big. It's a big deal. But he's the
Chairperson?
He's the chairman right now. And then one of my cousins is very involved in rodeo, and I don't know how much he'll know about that side of it, but I'll ask him.
Well, when we were at that leadership summit, when we talked to the mayor from Waukene, and they said, they were trying to think of something to do for their town, and they said, well, the only thing that we have are buzzards on the
Water tower.
on the water tower, and so that's what they got. They got a buzzard festival, and that's what they do every year now. And
Don't we have buzzards on the water?
yes, we do. And
I
she
know,
said,
I know, that's their mascot.
Really big duck.
yeah, she said it's gone over so well, and they have vendors, and they have all kind. I'm gonna go this year because it sounds like so much fun.
It's over.
Yeah, I like
Oh, it's
walking
over?
too.
It's over.
Oh,
Remember we were at that conference and then they're having that next weekend?
I thought that it was. I thought that was last year she was talking about. Well, then I'm going next year because that sounds like fun. But yeah, something like that. If we had thought,
Well, we
come
should
up with
have
something like that.
you know, the parade for Halloween was nice.
It was
And
very nice.
Right.
a lot of people liked it, and we don't, we have the rodeo.
And then we could have
But-
vendors and stuff. We could make a little bit of revenue off of that,
Yeah,
maybe,
food
and
trucks
just
and some beer sales, and
bring some people together and
just getting people out here is good.
right. Because that was fun. That Halloween thing was fun.
But if we had another thing in the summer, I think that'd be great.
Me too.
Okay, so I will second your motion.
Okay. So, moved and seconded that we have Nicole look into the special event permits and see what other towns are doing, what other rodeos are doing, and then the commissioners can take upon themselves to talk with a few of the people they might see out on the road for rodeo committee or anybody that does special events in other towns. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same side, motion carried. Alright. Motion to adjourn,
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
second.
I'll second it.
Yes, moved and seconded to adjourn the meeting. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same side, motion carried. Meeting adjourned at 11.